कैसे हो भाई? गुड मॉर्निंग। बहुत जल्दी उठ गया यार आज सुबह में। तो ठीक है, लेट्स सॉल्व today's LeetCode question, that is 3532. So what do we have to tell? We have to tell the path existence queries in a graph 1. This is first part. So tomorrow we'll be having the second part. So let's see what does the question say. We are given an integer n representing the number of nodes in a graph from 0 to n minus 1. Okay. We're also, these are right, all the given a nums array, right, that is sorted in non-decreasing order, and we have been given an integer max difference. Okay, and directed, so okay, between two nodes I and j, a node exists if the absolute difference, right, is less than equals to max difference. Okay, then we have given queries and we have to determine whether a path exists or not. Okay, so the question say, right, we have given a nums array, let's say 2 5 6 8 10. Okay, and we have given a max difference, say 2, right? Then between, right, these, between any two nodes, right, between any two nodes I and j, when does a path exist? If the difference, right, if nums of j minus nums of I less than equals to max diff, in this case absolute, right? Since this array is shorted, we don't need the absolute one. The next one will always be greater. Okay, now let's see what do we have. So just, so let's make if edge exists between node I and the I plus 1. If there exists a node between these two, no, because the max difference is greater than 2. So okay, let's mark root of this node as the same element. What is the, then okay, what is the root of this element? 1 current. Now does the edge exist between 5 and 6? Yes, so it means they both are connected. So what will be their root? 1. Now check 6 and 8. Is there an edge exist between 6 and 8? Yes, because their difference is less than 2. So we'll again keep the same, right? For the entire connected component, we'll keep the same root. So this is same like the disjoint sets or union find, you say, right? Where we do the root method, right? So the same thing, it's just we do it differently. Is there an exist between 8 and 10? Yes. And if I have next element, let's say 15, does there exist a edge between 10 and 15? No. So what we are going to do, right? So we are going to update, right? And to what we are going to update the index of this current element, 0 1 2 3 4 5. So I'll say it 5. Okay, now if I, so let's say queries can be anything, right? I say 1 3, I said 2 comma 5, right? I say 2 comma 6, right? So let's see, what if I ask you 1 comma 3, right? This is my 1 and this is my 3. So if I ask you, is there a like path between both this 1 and 3 index? If they both have the same root, right? What does the same root means? They both are connected. Both are connected, right? So that means there is an edge. So what we are going to check for these, right? L comma, we are checking, going to check, right? Rule of root of L equals to, right, root of R. If they both are equal, just return true. Otherwise, not return, just update the answer of I to the update and false. So let's see this example, right? 2 comma 5. So this one is our 5, right? For 5, the root equals to 5, and for 2, the root equals to what do you, 2, right? So these are both equal, that means they are not connected together. Okay, so मतलब फंडा क्या है basically ये है, right? Let's say ये चल रहा है, then there comes a num, right, there comes a nums of j, this is nums of j minus 1. If the difference, right, if the difference, this difference, if it's greater than, right, if it's greater than max diff, this is not connected to previous one. Okay, so it's basically a cutout from left one. This is the entire question. So if I have to make a graph of this one, how do I make? Right, the first index 0. Okay, then I have to make the first index. It is connected to second index, which is connected to third index. Now, if you want to know if, like, there exists a path, that is true. If you want to know if there exists a direct edge between 1 and 3, so you check 1 and 3. Is there absolute difference less than equals to max diff? No, so there does not exist edge. 10 is also connected. Between 10 also there is no edge. Okay, the next is 15. So this will be the graph. But let's say if I have 7 here, right? Then what happens, right? This 5 and 7 difference is also less than 1. So there exists a edge here as well. Okay, just to understand. So what will be the time complexity? Big of n, right? For traversing the entire nums array, right? And q for traversing the array dot length. This is time complexity. What is the space complexity? Same of n plus q, right? Because we do the root for of n complexity and we take the for answer of I, we, or, we initialize the answer, right? So that's n plus q. Okay, easy peasy. Yes. So what can be the interview question on this one? They can say this is not sorted, your nums of I is not sorted, and they can give you a pair. So let's say I give you a right ui comma right. So I say ui vi and edge of I. This one I can give you. So then it's like then you have to pre-process the specific pre-process this. Then then you have to use the disjoint sense directly. Then we cannot use this approach here. Okay, so yeah, let's see the code part quickly since we have already seen what do we need to do. We need to, right, we need to prepare a root array, right, based on difference of nums of I, right, and nums of I minus 1. So, right, if at some point the difference, right, is greater than maxDiff, right, then that point is cut off from the previous node basically. Then we'll mark the root of current equals to the current node. Okay, so let's quickly go. Let's declare, right, Boolean answer equals to what? It says q for simplicity, answer equals to, right, answer array equals to new boolean. What do we say, right? Q root length. Next is one I need for root, and the root equals to what? What are we going to say, right? Root new int. What do we say? Nums dot length, right? Okay. Then root of 0 will be 0 for the first one, right? Then we'll start from next position till what? Nums dot length I plus plus. What we are going to do, right? If we are at any current, we check the difference from previous run. We check if nums of, right, let's write like this, right, root of I equals to what, if we say, right, nums of I minus 1, if this value, right, if this value, we'll use the ternary operator, let's say, right, if this lex equals to max def, if it's true, what we are going to do, if it's true, we'll take the root of the previous element. So what do I write, right, root of I minus 1, otherwise what I write, current element is the root. Okay. We have this one then, right, for queries, right? And I equals to 0, I less than q root length I plus plus, what we are going to update in the answer, right? Answer of I equals to what? See, if the both the values are same, basically. Boolean, what do we say? I think we can directly compare, but let's see what do we have. If we say root of what? Q of I 0, right? Q of I 0 equals to what? Root of Q of I of 1. And then we'll return the answer. I think this functionality. Yeah, let's see. Okay, we can assign like this. Good. So the time complexity is of n plus q for this one n, for this one q, so it will be of n plus q. Yep. Good. Yeah, that's it. Have a good day.